don't know. What would you like to know,
But
Tim?
my mom was talking about the Iceman.
The what?
The Iceman.
Oh, the Iceman. Oh, yeah. We used to have, in those days you had ice boxes before the refrigerators come out. And I remember we had, the Iceman would come up in his truck and then you'd have to put a card in the window, either 25 pounds or 50 pounds or 75. And then he would have it in the truck, then he'd have a big rubber thing on his back and then he'd have that hook and he'd take it there and put in your ice box. So we had an ice box when we lived at 621 East 6th Street. And Grandpa put it in the shed, and he made a hole in the back, and he put a hose in, so I never had to empty the pan, because he would go in the pan.
Okay.
But he fixed it so it would go outside.
Nice.
So we never had to worry about the pan overflowing. And then the first refrigerator we had was in Fern Avenue, and that house there when we moved up there. But that was a lousy refrigerator that they left there. But those ice boxes were all right.
When you were younger and cooking, was it on like a wood stove?
Well, my mother, when I was a little girl, my mother had, we lived at 3rd and East and 8th Street. My mother had one of those cook stove, you know.
Okay.
And then on this side was, right here was the, where you put the coal and the wood in there. And then she had a little, the oven was here, had a warming oven up here. And then they had a thermometer, or whatever you call it, on the stove. And then she'd bake her bread in there. You could tell how.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had a coffee pot on all the time.
And Grandpa was premature, and you said that Grandpa was a premature baby, right?
Huh?
Grandpa was premature?
Yeah, his mother said he was premature. He only weighed about 1.5, 2 pounds when he was born. And his mother kept him in the warming oven on the stove.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just little, yeah.
Cooking the baby.
Yeah, he was just little. I think that's why he wasn't very well all his life.
Yeah. Well, he's a strong man. He's a well-loved man.
Yeah. Everybody loved him. He was well-liked. Everybody liked him. Yeah, he didn't harm nobody. And what else can I tell you?
Well,
Then I moved here. I was cutting the grass up Fern Avenue one day with one of those weed eaters, and it kept breaking, and I thought, what am I killing myself here for? So I went in the house and called a real estate company and thought I'd put the house up for sale. And then I had a hard time to find something where to live. I sold the house in 2 weeks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried the Lennox. They said 3 years, and I didn't want the Gateway. So then Martha called me and said it was empty here, and I came here. And I was all packed and settled when Gateway would call me. Well, then I wasn't going to move again.
Yeah.
So I had that one room until I got this bedroom apartment, but I'm happy here. It's been a nice place to live. So I can't complain. Nice neighborhood and nice people. Just like Cheers Tavern, everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
Nobody calls Mr. or Mrs. or everybody is by your name, so it's a real friendly place to live. It's a nice place to live. And then when I've been a healthy woman all my life until lately, I got this whatever you call it. Anyhow, it says weakening of the muscles, but I'll get over it. Treated with prednisone. But otherwise, I'm healthy. There's nothing wrong with me. Doing good.
Okay.
And I got 3 lovely grandsons who I love very much, and then I got some other grandsons too that I love very much, and then I got granddaughters. I got one granddaughter, Melinda, and then I got 3 great-granddaughters. That's Elaine, and then Bobby Jr.'s kids.
Okay.
Alana and Madison. And grandsons are, and Joshua is a photographer for Fox journalist photographer for Fox TV. Tim teaches English overseas. Christopher goes to school and works at Menards. Melinda works for the Board of Education. Elaine is married and she works for Loving Care. I think it's called Loving Care. And Bobby's children live in, I forgot, forgot where they live. They don't live far from Bobby anyhow, where Bob used to live. And then he works for Ford Motor Company. He puts stickers on car windows.
Okay.
And then he's got two girls, Madison and Lorena. I can't think of the team. It isn't Missouri. Maybe it's Missouri. I don't remember.
Works for a car company? Michigan?
Maybe it's...
Michigan, probably.
Maybe. No, he don't live in Michigan. I think it's Missouri.
Okay.
Where it works for the Ford plant there. And I don't know what else. I belonged to First Lutheran Church. Was a Sunday school teacher there for many, many years. I was up for one of the candidates for Woman of the Year. I forget what year that was. I'm founder and charter member of the Miller Dawn Auxiliary. I was one of the founders. And I volunteered there for many, many years until I had to have surgery and that, health problems. And then when I got better, I couldn't walk that far because I don't drive. So then I volunteered at St. Luke's. And I'm on the cover of their handbook with two other volunteers. Yeah, so I've been active too, and I've been president of many clubs. I've been very active in American Legion. I'm still active in American Legion. And still go to my church circle. And I don't get to church, so I do have some nice people from church that come to visit me, and then I have a Nancy from church that comes and gives me communion once a month.
Okay.
She's nice. And I've got a lot of friends in the building. Yeah. You have to get the phone over there. But it's Diane. Maybe not. Hello?
Yes, turn it up.
Oh. Hello? Yes? Yeah? Yeah? Oh, somebody called me yesterday about that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. All them people I know about voting.
Okay. I mean, you have lived through a lot. I mean, after the war, Grandpa came back, and what did he do?
After the war?
Yeah.
Well, he had to look for a job.
Okay.
I lived on 17 West Fifth Street when he was in the war.
Okay.
And
Did
then,
you live, did you live in a house or apartment?
house. It was a nice house. But it was getting to be kind of a rough neighborhood, so we thought we better move. And we moved up to Fern Avenue. That was just like cow country when we moved up there. The road was just a dirt road. In the wintertime, they didn't even know where to plow. We wouldn't be plowed for a week or so, you know. Mm-hmm. But it was a good place for kids to grow up. Then they walked all the way to Grant School and back again until I found out they had hot lunches there, and then I had them take hot lunches. But we lived up there, and it was a nice place to raise kids. And some people up in the hill, they still had outside toilets, and some had cows. And then there was a dairy on the Rice Lake Road there. I forgot the name of the dairy. Yeah, it was a dairy up there. Well, there was two dairies on the Rice Lake Road. One was Rex, and I don't know what the other one was.
Did they used to deliver the milk, or did you have to go pick it up?
I didn't have a milkman then, no. But we used to go up there and pick strawberries, the kids and I go pick strawberries, and the neighbors. Yeah, kids had a lot of friends up there, and I had a lot of friends there. We used to have a coffee party. Once a week we'd go to somebody's house and have a coffee party, and the neighbors, they were I had nice neighbors up there. And they're all gone. Now I have two girlfriends left. Lillian Salo, she lives up Pike Lake, and Lucille Rathy, she's down at Bay Point Nursing Home. There's me. That's all that's left of us kids that went to school together. And we chummed since we went to school. So, and all my children are still living, and all my grandchildren. I love them all, and they're all good to me. Couldn't ask for a better family. Mm, That's all I know, Tim.
Well, like, I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but Grandpa worked for the CCC?
Oh, yeah, yeah, when Grandpa, before it's forever, I knew my, and I forget what year it was that Great Depression. I wasn't married, and Archie was a young boy, and my brother was young. But Roosevelt started the CC camps for these boys, and they got $25 a month. And then they wore army uniforms and that, you know, and they lived in barracks. And they planted all those trees you see going up the highways and the parks and everything. And that's because the Depression was so bad. They got $25 a month, and then they sent so much home, and then they kept so much for spending, you know.
Okay.
So that's,
So Grandpa just planted trees?
I don't know what he did.
Okay.
But he was in the CC camps. But I know they planted trees. I don't know what else they did. I suppose they worked on roads too. I don't know.
Yeah. Did a lot of stuff.
But I know he was in the CC camps. That's the only jobs those kids could get, you know. There was not enough food for people to eat. And Roosevelt said there'd be 2 cars in every garage and a chicken in every pot. Well, that never panned out. So it was a Great Depression. My mother was a widow then. My dad died when I was about 8 years old, so my mother was a widow with 4 kids. She had it pretty hard, too.
Yeah, what did she do to make...
She worked at the old city hall. She used to go after the workers were through and go and scrub the floors on her hands and knees and come home about midnight, poor mother. And then when they built a new city hall, she was one of the first employees there. I mean, one of the first, employees, I think it's called. And this one judge, I think his name was Judge McDevitt. He was good to my mother. And he got her first job there, dusting his chambers.
Okay.
And then my mother would have me come down, and we'd look out the window. Marshall Wells had a bell that went up, and at 12 o'clock and at 1 o'clock it would ring a curfew, you know. So I'd go down there and get money to go home to buy something. And she was a hard little worker. Did her best. She always had food on the table and always something to eat.
What was your favorite thing your mom cooked for you?
Well, she cooked so many good things, I don't know. I really don't know.
What kind of food did she cook?
Mostly Swedish food, like, and then we had lots of Swedish meatballs, and then we had a lot of soups and stews, and for dessert she'd always make Swedish pancakes because they were good, you know. And then...
When did your mom and father come over from Sweden?
Hmm?
When did your parents come over from Sweden?
Well, see, I really don't know. Reiner was 6 years old.
Okay.
So you'd have to kind of figure his age when he died and that. He was 80-something, I think. I don't know how.
Okay.
Yeah, but he...
How old were you when Reiner was born?
When Reiner was born?
When you were born, how old was Reiner?
I don't know. But my sister, Bernice, was born... Bernice was born in 1912.
Okay. Was she born in the U.S.?
Bernice was born in Max, North Dakota. Reiner was born in Sweden. Reiner came over on the boat when he was 6 years old. Arthur and I were both born in Duluth. None of us were born in a hospital.
Okay.
And
where in Sweden is your family from?
Malmo.
Malmo?
Malmo, Sweden, yeah.
Did your parents speak English?
Hmm?
Did your parents speak English?
I don't know.
Or
Yeah,
they speak Swedish?
But I remember they spoke English, yeah. But I remember. My mother's sister was here first, and her husband. They lived in Max, North Dakota. That's where Bernice was born, in Max, North Dakota. And but they didn't like it there because it was too hot and had too much tumbleweed and snakes, so they moved to Minnesota. They didn't like Max, North Dakota. There's no more Max, North Dakota now. And I don't know. Kind of jumbled up. You have to.
That's okay. I'll give it to Josh. Josh can fix it up.
Yeah.